Welcome to the class. This is the third lesson about Blackout poetry. The learning objectives of this model are: first, understanding what is a blackout poetry; secondly, understanding how it can be used in the context of social work; third, being able to perform it online; and fourth, being able to adapt the technique to different target groups and settings. Now, you can ask the class if they think you can express something meaningful and poetic in few words. After a short discussion, you can share with them some haikus, which are traditional short form of Japanese poetry. Then, you can ask whether they think that anyone can write short poems like those. Have a short discussion on why yes and why no. Then, introduce the concept of blackout poetry using the theoretical context provided before. As well, provide some examples of blackout poetry. You can find so many of them on Instagram, for example. After this introduction to the method, involve the class in a brainstorming exercise. Why should we use this technique in a context of a social work intervention? Then, collect all comments on a Jamboard, and if necessary, integrate with the information provided in the theoretical introduction. You should share your screen and show participants step by step how they can create a digital blackout poem, both using the app as well as using the Google tools. Now, ask each participant to try to apply one of the methods and to create its own blackout poem. Allow them at least 30 minutes for this task, which should be performed individually. When back in the plenary, ask participants to share their poem, if they wish to do so, and their experience about the process. Try to elicit any issues they had from a digital point of view, as well as how they felt performing the process. Ask them if it was easy, if it was difficult, and why. After each participant had the chance to experience the technique, invite them to reflect on how they would apply it with their target groups. Divide the participants in small groups, with 3 or 4 people, using breakout rooms, and then ask them to discuss the following points. For example, which kind of goals would you set for your audience? How would you introduce the activity to your audience? What kind of instructions or recommendations would you give them? How would you choose the text to be used? Which digital options you would use and how? How would you conduct the workshop? How would you conduct the feedback session? What kind of opportunities and risks you see in using this method? Allow them 30 to 45 minutes and then go back in the plenary to share and discuss results with the rest of the group. The structure of the workshop can be adapted according to the size of the group. So if the group is large, the group works and discussions will take more time. The ICT literacy of the group. If the group has limited ICT skills, it might be necessary to allow more time in explaining how to implement the procedures from a digital point of view and try to provide more one-on-one guidance, the educational or professional focus of the group. If the group is homogeneous and working with the same target group, for example, disability, old age, youth, or addiction, you might adapt the lessons more precisely to the needs of this target group. For example, the fourth part of the exercise can be facilitated by providing each group with a specific scenario to be discussed. Check out the supporting materials and the references for this class.